Okay, so hello guys. Welcome to new iterations of things. As I started moving stuff over to the VOD channel, I decided that instead of just having the screen press, since I seem to be doing two different things with music right now, it's going to be split into two things that are underneath of the big umbrella of the screen press. So today we're doing Into the Reeds. I bring on music people, musicians, people who produce music, do music, maybe even make music, like instruments and stuff. People who get into all different kinds of stuff. So that's what this is. And then Sundays are reserved for digging into albums, which is where we do our consistent album reviews. If you ever want to come on for that, by the way, what should I call you? Just Ramona?
My real name is Sebastian.
Sebastian. Hello. That's so funny. I used to be very good friends with a guy named Sebastian that played guitar.
Really?
Yes, very good friends, like for a very long time. He's a cool guy. He got me into a lot of kind of like musical influence that I have today, actually.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So shout out to that guy wherever you are. So yeah, if you ever wanted to join us for that, we swap an album. Each of us, it's me, a guy named Sen, and a guy named Dom, and we listen to them, and then like over the week, and then come back the next week and kind of talk about like how we felt about the albums, things we liked, and like whatever. And then also take suggestions if anyone in chat or people that eventually watch this later suggest things. I'll load them in. Hello, Sarah. How are you?
Oh, that's my girlfriend.
Oh, well, hello. Welcome. So that's cool. But today, here to talk to you. Who are you?
Well, my real name is Sebastian, but I go by Ramona Circle on most streaming platforms. I think all streaming platforms actually now. Pandora has like a weird system where they have someone specifically listen to your music and judge whether or not it's worthy enough to have a Pandora channel. And so now I am on Pandora. But
Strange.
I make heavy metal music. I like to mix genres with it as well. So it's not always just heavy that you're gonna get. You're gonna get a good blend of like Latin vibes in there, some jazz. I have another song in the works that's kind of like a bluesy country metal. I don't know how to describe it. It's got banjo in it.
That's cool. That's cool. I really like when people can shift around genres like that. I was gonna say I really really like the Latin influence you got, man. It's okay. So I was just listening to. Let's go find you. You have 3 songs on.
Yeah, 3 songs out so far.
If I can type Ramona Circle. Thank you. This guy. Yeah. Gaslighter?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Or was it? It's one of the two. I was just listening to them earlier. Let me play them again, since I won't actually get yeeted from Twitch for doing this, since it's your music. Yeah.
Something from Nothing is the one that has the jazz vibes, and then Demona has like the Latin
jazz, but also like, okay, so I listen to a lot of bossa nova.
It is bossa nova.
Oh my god, dude, I love bossa nova. It's so great. It's such a great genre, man. Oh, I got a lot of that from playing Katamari, like mainly from playing Katamari, because the whole thing, crazy Japanese game.
It's jazz.
Yeah, that just jams. Oh yeah, it's good, man. You have really good music. I like it a lot. It's a really good shift too, like that. The sort of bossa nova and then just like kicks right into the guitar and scream immediately is like, I like good transitions. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a solid jump. You know what I mean? And it doesn't like sound out of place, I guess is the right way.
So that's because of the way that I go about writing music, or I guess the way that I see music is more accurate. So music is all the same 12 notes. Like if you look on a piano, it's the same 12 notes every single time. It's just matter where you go, up or down on the scale. Same 12 notes. How you play those notes determines the genre. That's it.
Okay.
Like what rhythm you're playing is what determines the genre, right? So the guitar, for instance, the way that I play something from nothing at the beginning is a clean channel, and I'm finger picking it, so it sounds very like jazzy. I'm adding a finger picking pattern, right? Then same exact chords. I'm not even moving my left hand. I'm just switching up what I'm doing with my right hand when it gets heavy. That's it.
Let's go back. Let's go back and take a listen, so I can really hear it. Like, click back a bit further than I wanted, but that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, that tracks. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very jammy song. And the screaming and singing swapping back and forth is great too, because for me I like metal a lot. I listen to a lot of different stuff, but I really prefer, for the most part, when somebody can go between the screaming and the singing. Having too much of just screaming, I think, kind of, I just don't like listening to it all the time. You know what I mean? Unless it's like Death Clock. Man, I love Death Clock. I'll listen to him scream all day. That's great stuff. But yeah, for I think this more style of metal, the blend of the two is really good too. Periphery is one of my favorite examples of this.
Yeah, I love Periphery.
Oh, I love them, dude. I saw them twice last year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're really good.
Did they play Wildfire?
Yes, they did.
That one's my favorite.
Yeah, they played Wildfire. They played Zagreus.
That's cool.
Which I also personally love, because that's made because of the game Hades, and Hades is a great fucking game.
Gotcha. I didn't know the reference there. I've never played the game.
It's addictive. You should try it out. It's very fun.
All right. I'll definitely look into it.
But yeah, they're a really good example of that, and of just like great metal. They're a good band. So yeah,
I take a lot of influence personally from a band called Johnny Booth. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
I do not know that one.
At least for the heavy parts. Like in Gaslighter. Gaslighter was my direct stab at trying to mimic something Johnny Booth type-esque. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Ramona was my attempt at trying to make an Avenged Sevenfold song, but slightly heavier.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Demona was the first one I heard.
Yeah, that was my first release.
Yeah, that our friend sent us. I like
released that one because I wanted to draw in a bigger audience, so that way when I went heavier, it wasn't such a shock, you know.
Mm-hmm. That in Demona, actually, the sort of like guitar and like, what is that, like a slide, like a kind of, what is that instrument? It's like a it's like a stick and wood type of deal. You know what I mean? You gotta like kind of yeah. That reminds me of some stuff from the Mars Volta. If you're familiar with them.
I'm familiar with the Mars Volta.
Huh?
I am. Yeah, I know who they are.
You're the first person who's ever said that to me personally. Congratulations. That's kind of crazy. Oh, they're actually one of my favorite bands of all time. I could go on and on and on and on about them. I really like the Mars Volta.
Yeah, they are really good. Very talented musicians.
Yeah.
There's only 3 of them, correct?
Yeah, there's like 2 main guys and the third one, and they've swapped in and out for other ones.
That's what it is.
For the album I really like, they actually got the dude from Chili Peppers to play bass on that album.
Oh, Flea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is, and oh man, The Last in the Comatorium probably is their best album. So that kind of tracks.
Makes sense. Yeah, you have Flea as the bass. He's gonna make any song you make like 10 times better.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like they just do crazy stuff. So to have this
Yeah.
guy just come in and he just like jams out and does the Mars Volta thing, it's like, damn, that's pretty good. Like, hell yeah, dude. So do you have things you're working on? Like, I see it's a lot of singles. Like, have you been working on an album at all?
Yeah, so I just made an announcement on my TikTok and Instagram, I believe. I have an EP that I'm working on. I haven't had a release date yet, but right now I'm demoing out some tracks. It's gonna have Gaslighter on it, a different version of Gaslighter. It's gonna sound a little different. Um, Something from Nothing as well. It's gonna sound a little different as well, and then it's gonna have an intro track to Gaslighter, and then an in between track, um, and it's gonna have a lot of musical nuance the way Periphery does on P3, where they flash back to the same progression,
Oh, I love
and then at
them
the
doing
end it all
fucking.
comes together in one big song.
Dude, they're so cool for that. Like callbacks to previous
Yeah,
things like
love
that
that.
is
I
so
love that
awesome.
idea, and so I wanted to incorporate that into this EP.
That's cool. That's very cool. That sounds like that's gonna be pretty dope. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
Because I have sent people Demona. Like, I really like that song. Like, I like all
Oh,
three
yeah.
songs, but I don't know, Demona really hits. That's the banger.
That's what everybody tells me.
Yeah, it's very good, man. It's very
My
impressive stuff.
girlfriend's favorite too. I think that'll have to be the one that I play at the end of every set.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Do you plan on doing live stuff?
At some point, yeah. It's a little difficult right now, just because I don't have too much of a following right now. So if I were to go online and say, "Hey, I'm looking for musicians to fill spots for a touring band," I have, all the money and resources. You just have to pay for your plane ticket to show up to where I'm at. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I want to get to a point where I have all the gear and the van. All I need is the musicians. You know what I mean? Um, and that takes a lot of time and money
Yeah,
to
yeah,
build
absolutely.
up. I've got some pieces of that already. And I have a buddy of mine who's a drummer. He's a really talented drummer. He's just like me too. He plays all the instruments, does vocals and everything too. And so he's good enough to play my drum parts. So I asked him if he'd be down to, like when I play live, to hop on board and tour with me. And so I already got a drummer, solid. Um, a guitarist would probably be the easiest thing to find after that.
Yeah,
I would say
yeah.
there's a lot of those. Bass player would be harder. I might have to get a guitar player to play bass.
I mean, they're not too many steps away from each other.
No, they're not. But yeah, true. And also, I am a guitar player that plays bass, so it would kind of work the same way.
Yeah. Have you considered doing online shows, like live on Twitch and stuff?
So I go on TikTok actually. Every now and again, I'll go on TikTok, and while I'm like tracking out demos for the EP that I'm working on, I'll like give people sneak peeks of what I'm doing.
I got banned off of
Never
TikTok.
like a full conjoined song. It's just like you get to hear bits and pieces of a section I'm working on.
Yeah. I might try and make another one, but I got banned on TikTok.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just posting. I make little archival videos for an Anarchy Minecraft server that I play on, and so I was just posting a couple of those, and then when I got on, it was like, "You've been banned," and I was like, What do you mean? It's just Minecraft, bro. Like, I don't understand. It was really strange.
That's weird.
Yeah, it might work better for something like this. I don't know. I'll try again, because I know I know TikTok's
there's
really
a lot
big
of
for
people
that.
do music, and that's their thing. They've even made it easier to go live now. I think it's like 800 followers, and you can like go live and show your face and do all that cool thing.
Okay.
all that cool shit. But you have to unlock features as you gain followers.
Okay.
So that is the only downside of it.
Hmm. Well, I'll check into it right now. Right now I've got Twitch and YouTube, and that's fine enough. There's already views happening on the VODs channel for this. It's very small amounts, but like it's already there. So, I know YouTube works as long as you know how to tag things properly, set stuff up right. Go through all the right channels. I've been doing YouTube for a while because I'm an extreme shit poster on the other side, and have had to deal with copyrights and violations of the rules and getting yeeted for a week and a lot of different things. I've experienced all of YouTube. It's pretty rough out there. I understand people when they complain about the fact that they want to be able to create things and do what they want on YouTube, but they can't because of all the regulations and rules around it, and so they get hit for super minor stuff. But like realistically, there's not many places like YouTube at all.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It is a very unique platform.
Yeah.
I would say TikTok is arguably the only one that's on par. At least the one that's like gotten on par fast enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because TikTok is pretty young.
Yeah, and it is blown up.
But I think the beauty of TikTok is that its algorithm pushes you out to people that are looking for your kind of content. So you're gonna have your haters at first. Absolutely, that's gonna happen. But then eventually you start getting the people that are looking for like the Minecraft content, the comedy aspect of Minecraft, or maybe just you build crazy structures, and you want to show them off. So there's pages dedicated to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think also maybe they might have banned it because it was for a game Anarchy, right? You said it was?
Yeah, so there's only two things I can think of. The last video I posted was because somebody built a huge version of the an obsidian version of the Jesus statue in Spain. Big fucking one with his arms out, right? And then there was a whole bunch of crosses that were built around spawn. And so I recorded a bunch of that and then put the Dorime song behind it. You know that Dorime, Ameno, Ameno. I love that song.
Yeah, I know that.
It's so much fun to sing. And that was the last thing I posted. So the only thing I could think is that maybe it was weird because it was like got a religious aspect behind it. I'm not really sure. Or that it was anarchy. Because I had posted, I think, like 6 or 7 videos on there. And a couple of them had blown up because the first one was me placing a bunch of withers all over the place, and those got a lot of views. So.
Both, because I know that when it comes to talking about religion, they allow it. When it comes to talking about anti-religion, they don't allow it. So if your thing was called anarchy and you were posting a statue of Jesus, big black statue of Jesus,
that's a shame. Because it's really nice, honestly. It was not there for like a negative reason. I honestly liked that it was there.
I can imagine it probably was just like something to build because it looks cool.
I actually built a huge church in there too myself, but it was the Church of F. I wrote like built a giant F into the like the side of it. It was nice looking though.
That's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a really fun server. Anarchy is a surprisingly fun way to play Minecraft, and like besides modded, it's the only reason I continue to play Minecraft because like on the base, it's like it's fun. You know what I mean? I run around, build stuff, break things, kill monsters, whatever. Like I can make machines and things out of redstone. But like Anarchy is like, all right, man, it's like Rust. You're out there. There's no rules. You can use hacked clients to like see through things and like move faster than normal. You can like raid, you can build stuff, you can help people, you can say whatever the fuck you want. People say some off the wall shit in Anarchy servers, and it is amazing. I love it personally. Like I love when people could just say what
basically.
Huh?
It's just a giant playground, essentially.
Yes, and it's very fun.
I love it.
And the one I play on is very quiet, so I've just been able to play it for like 5 years and just do all kinds of crazy stuff on there. Like somebody built that huge Jesus. I built a whatever. I built that nice church. I built a giant, like, 250,000 block obsidian roof during COVID in California because there wasn't anything to do, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna build a roof over spawn. And now, like, the whole area when you first log in as a new player is entirely dark and full of monsters, and it's terrifying, and I love it. I love that server. It's a lot of fun.
That's good. Right now, what I've really been into is COD Mobile.
Okay.
As boring as that sounds, I understand mobile games don't sound as fun when you have a PC.
I play a lot of games on my phone, actually.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've come across a lot of people that like scoff
No, there's
COD Mobile, and it's like, dude, it's got every mode, like
Look,
every single mode.
everyone doubts me. Look, everyone doubts mobile games until they try Anosha 3 and 4. Really good Korean RPGs that are totally free single-player RPG. It's really long. It's really good. It doesn't ask for money. It's just they're great. The 3, it's a shame. You have to go get an APK of it because they took it off of the store. But 4 is still there, and 4 is really fun. Like, there's Splash Up is like Super Meat Boy, but everything is a shadow, and when you touch stuff, paint splashes it so it reveals the stage around you. Oh, it's super fun.
Cool. That
sounds
like that Sean White skateboarding game that they came out with a while ago.
I don't know what
that was
is,
a fun
but
one.
that sounds cool too.
So the premise was the world is taken over by like this corporation that wants to drain the color out of everything and make everyone gray and black and white. And every time you skateboard, every time you land or do a crazy trick, color explodes around you and everything goes back to the way it's supposed to be. People turn back to normal.
That sounds really fun, actually.
Yeah, it is super fun, and it's like a cool ass soundtrack, and you're just going around doing skateboarding tricks.
I'm gonna find that. If I have to emulate it, I will. I'm gonna find that and play it. That sounds pretty cool.
It was for Xbox 360, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
So it shouldn't be too expensive. Sean White skateboarding.
Okay. Yeah, there's a couple of pretty fun phone games. I play some pretty autistic ones like the Kittens game, which is basically like a Civilization idle game, but it's all text. There's no like pictures or anything. It's just a lot of numbers go up, a lot of like time resetting and you know, different like progressions and stuff. It's a lot of fun. Zenless Zone Zero, I can't lie, and Honkai Star Rail are very good games. I'm not a Genshin guy, but the other 2 games those companies have made, bangers. Very fun. Honkai is arguably better. Honkai is really, really good. It's just a very fun turn-based, like, Chinese RPG space epic, and I like it a lot.
There was one game that was really, really, really fun for a while, and then they ruined it for after a bit. It's called Mech Arena.
Okay, I think I know.
And don't even bother anymore. It started out as a free mech game. You start off with like your basic, you know, speedster mech. It's like a one on a motorcycle, but it's super squishy, super strong but super squishy. So that's the drawback. It's also super fast, so it's hard to hit if you're good with it. And then you have like the slower tank mech that has a shield that it deploys on itself, so it has extra health. And it has like it can have a bigger cannon capacity on it. And then you have the jumper, which can like jump around from roof to roof, or like jump up, snipe, and then take cover when it falls down again. And it was cool. You had those 3, and then you had some like other advanced ones that you could unlock as you played through the game. Then they got greedy and decided to make super, super absurdly strong mechs with a paywall behind them.
Oh.
And of course, and bought them. It changed the entire game to where it became pay to win.
That's a shame.
Yeah. They had a good thing going, and then they ruined it.
Man, there's a game like that on Steam, and I'm so mad about it. I'll never be not mad about it. But it's called Robocraft. And basically, it took the Kingdom Hearts building system for gummy ships, and you could use this to make mechs that could fly, they could float, they could spin, they could roll on tracks, they could roll on wheels, they could hover in the air, like all different kinds of ways you could build this stuff. Put guns on them, put like healing guns on them, put snipers on them, all kinds of crazy stuff. Super duper fun, right? And so they had an arena mode and a MOBA mode, and they were both really fun to do because you just had all these different cool effects and things you could do, and people are doing crazy stuff. Literally, I've got screenshots on my computer right now of a guy that made Reptar from Rugrats, just a whole ass Reptar. There was a dude that made a Porygon. Like, there was just all kinds of creative, fun things people were doing. One time, this guy just made a tower with guns on the top, and it was the tallest thing in the fucking map. It was just tall as fuck, and he could just shoot around with it. It was so stupid and silly, right? Then they changed the system. So how it worked is that you'd go in, you'd fight. If you won, you'd get points, and then you'd use these points to level up and buy more parts, and you could slowly rank up. And the more you're ranking up, the more you're playing against those, higher ranks of people. Then they changed it so that the ranking system was removed. All the parts were given access to everybody, and they changed it so that ranks were based on points. So, like, if you wanted to play like a 5,000 point game, you have a ship that's worth up to 5,000 points, and that was that rank, or something like that. They changed everything, and so basically, if I wanted to go with somebody and play, you'd go into cool 2,000 point rank. Instead of fun wacky things in the 2,000 point rank, it is now teams of people who have optimized the shit out of it and found the best thing in that point system rank and are now obliterating everything. And it happened everywhere, and the game got ruined. And now they're making RoboCraft 2, and it's super complicated with like redstone mechanics to build your contraptions. And I'm like, what happened? Oh, this game used to be so much fun.
That sucks.
It's a sad tale. If I were
back to the old model.
If I were a man with more effort, I'd be an essay bro, and I'd make a 2-hour video about how sad that game turned out. Yeah, there used to be real silly things on it.
YouTube has mobile games now.
Do they?
Yeah.
That's weird.
They're kind of, like there's the coolest one is called Stealth Master that I've seen. You kind of just go around, it's a top-down style camera, go around stealthily assassinating people.
Okay.
And then you get to the elevator, go up the elevator, next room, kill all the people, same thing. Rinse and repeat them. There's a boss at the end of it.
All right. Yeah, see, like, a lot of problems with mobile games is that a lot of them are, like, really repetitive.
Yeah.
And I've dug through a lot of stuff, and unfortunately, some of the most fun ones are idols, just because there is a good variety of different kinds of idle games.
Yeah, I used to play some idle games.
The other one I kind of like is
fun coming back when you wake up in the morning and it's like, hey, I got like all this shit.
Yeah, that's why I like the Kittens game, because it's like a Civ idle game, but the file I'm playing on has been reset I think like 6 times, and I've been playing it for like a year now. Just like the same, Just the same one. It's a great game. But yeah, Necromerger is another one kind of like that. It's like a merging game, but also like kind of idle-ish. It's kind of addictive to sit there and like try to accurately merge things and have like a space management, time management thing going on. I like inventory management. It's kind of addictive, actually. So having to figure out which thing I'm going to merge and which thing I'm going to tap next, and hope the chances of things I'm getting are going to allow me to keep having the space to continue to merge and get better and better. It's just like very satisfying.
I've played those before.
Yeah.
Those are pretty satisfying.
It's the only one of that kind I've played, but I like it. And the music for the Necromerger slaps. It's pretty good. It's like kind of funky and cool with this like sort of necro Halloweeny type feel to it. Like it's cool stuff. I like it. Yeah, but there are some fun mobile games, but I do understand most part the derision people have for mobile games.
Yeah, I think it's also too because a lot of mobile games they do this thing, the same thing that Fortnite does, where the system that they have, like for COD Mobile example, right? The way that you can get like the really, really cool skins, you can't just outright buy them. You gamble for them.
Yeah.
There's like a set list of items for each skin, right? And usually the skin is the last thing that they'll give you, unless you get lucky somehow. But there was one that I spent like $25 for coins, right? And I put in all the coins, got every single thing on the list except for the skin. After $25, and it's like, damn, I
As
got
a
nothing out of that.
gacha player, I understand. Zenless
Yeah,
Zone Zero and Honkai both have gacha behind them. They're really fun RPGs, but they also are definitely gacha games. So I get the pain of going in, especially because like in
that's
that you got to
what it
put
is,
the effort
gotcha.
into fucking even if you're not paying for it, you know what I mean? The time and effort you put in to do the missions and get the points and then go do it, and you're like, okay, for this one, it's like, oh, cool banner, character I really want, let's go. Didn't get it. Fuck. I just got a bunch of stuff I didn't want. God damn it.
Dude, there was this skin
Exactly,
that I wanted
Ganja.
so
We
bad,
love to
and
hate it.
I got every other aspect of the skin, right? So the skin was Ghost, but it's Ghost with like he's more bulkier instead of super slim. The story behind this new skin is he like came back from the dead to from like a nuclear fallout, and this is what he looks like now. So he has like a gold face mask instead. That's the skull. And his eyes are glowing red. And then he's got like gold and black plated armor, and then he's got like an aura of black mist that comes off of him. And then whenever he goes into his like full on activated mode, he's on fire, and like everything is on fire.
Sounds very cool.
It is very cool. And like the dog, if you have the dog skin as well, then what'll happen is it comes with the dog skin as well. So whenever you release your dogs, it's like a hellhound with like flames coming out of its eyes and its mouth.
Okay.
It's pretty crazy, yeah. But like, yeah, I had to pay like another $50. That's another thing about the gacha and COD is it gets more and more expensive. It costs more and more coins the more you do it. So I would have to have spent another $50 just to have enough coins to get the skin.
That's crazy. That's so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Does the game have good music?
Yeah, the game's got good music. They've got like your typical Call of Duty type of soundtrack where it's like very orchestrated.
Yeah, I quite like.
And then they also update the music with the seasons as well.
Yeah, I quite like the music for. I played a good bit of COD Cold War. Pretty much only the zombies mode, because I really just like zombies. I'm not very great at like COD multiplayer at all, but I like the zombies mode a lot. I think they do really good with it.
Yeah,
Black Ops 3 Zombies was so gas, so good. But Cold War Outbreak is really what I got super into.
Gotcha.
I like.
I'm really
into
the battle royale on mobile.
I play Fortnite
I do
Battle
pretty good
Royale.
too. I'm a Grandmaster 5 right now. I'm like one step away from Legendary.
Damn, hell yeah.
But like the problem with that is that once you get to that point, you rarely ever get first place because now like you're with the top
I
people.
know that. That's me in Fortnite Rocket Racing. Oh man, it is so hard. Like,
yeah.
It is like one of the hardest. I mean, I've only played a few racing games, but Rocket Racing is the hardest racing game I've ever played. It's and like basically, I when I first started playing, because I played a fuck ton of Mario Kart, so I pretty understand it pretty well. So I jumped from bronze to gold in about a week, and then from gold up to diamond, and then from diamond to platinum. I struggled and just lost and struggled because it's like at the base level of rocket racing, you're just racing. You're drifting, you're racing. You get a little bit up higher and you start knowing that, okay, there's shortcuts we're bouncing through. Okay, there's little things you can do here and there. You're like, all right, cool, now I'm doing this. Now I'm getting even faster, getting better at the tracks. Then you get to the higher ones and people start flying. Like literally flying because it's Rocket League. it's not just
Yeah.
racing, it's also Rocket League, which is about flying to Valhalla. Like, so people are doing flips and jumps and twists and like
And now it's
boosting
like,
through
damn,
the
now I
air
have to
and
be good at that.
oh my god, and I just can't do it. It's so complicated. Like, it's really hard for my brain to process, like, all right, I've got to drift, jump, boost, and flip on top of it. Like, I have a very hard time with it, but
Oh man, that
it's so
sounds like
I pretty
a
much get
finger
stuck
sucker.
at like Platinum 2 all the time, and I
Uh,
just remain at Platinum 2 forever. Like, it's because it's as long as I know the track really well, I can usually do it. But then there's some, like, there's one track that was like this beach area. I could
Mhm.
not for the life of me, and I even went on the practice track to try this. You take this really hard turn, and then the turn goes to bouncing over platforms, and then a really sharp turn left into a track. And if you go past it, you just slam into a wall. And I slammed into the
Ooh, I
wall,
hate
or never made it past it because I would just fly off of the edge and just woof off into the fucking distance. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, it's very fun though. I like racing games a lot.
I was gonna say, what kind of sets the Call of Duty mobile battle royale apart from, like, I would say every other battle royale really, is the fact that you can have powers in that. Um, it's cool. So it's like a technological power, right? Like an ability, um, and you can choose which one you want before the match starts. They even let you, while the match is loading, you can kind of experiment with different ones and see how they work. Um, the first ones that they came out with were like, it was called a trickster, and like a poltergeist were the best ones at the time. Um, so trickster was basically shadow clone jutsu. You just made two extra clones of yourself that ran off into the distance in random patterns, and then people are so focused on the clones that you're shooting them from the side.
Okay.
Then there was poltergeist, which turns you near invisible, and most people can't see you when you're in poltergeist mode. Um, uh, but then that got kind of, they had to cut that short a little bit. They had to make people more visible because it was too easy, and everyone was just poltergeisting all the time, and no one could see each other.
That's kind of
Um,
hilarious.
yeah. So they had to knock that down a little bit in strength. Uh, then they came out with the smoke bomber, and that one's cool. So you drop a smoke grenade that pops off into four other tinier smoke grenades that release huge clouds around you. And then while you're in the smoke, you can see, like, I think 70 meters out.
That sounds
Um,
like some Borderlands ass type of shit right there.
it is. It is. So it literally is. It's like the extra skill button on top of the grenade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one that I've gotten really fond of playing with, so it started off with the grappling hook, because you can grapple up to like the top of buildings and be Batman type of shit, um, and that was fun. But then I found that there's another one that does the same thing, but then also works as an offensive and a defensive. It's the Shadow Strike. It's the ninja sword. So you hold it down, and what it does is you'll hold a sword in front of you, like a katana in front of you. Um, Wherever you're looking at, if someone is shooting at you from like the front side, you'll block the bullets. And then when you release the button, you'll zoom towards them in a slash, like a samurai slash. Um, One hit is usually strong enough. If they're at full shields, it's strong enough to crack them. Then they start panicking.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, and you can also use, because you know how it makes you zoom forward, so you can also use it to zoom up, like on top of a building, to just jump up.
Okay.
So that's the beauty of it, is it also gives you that height advantage, on top of being an offensive and a defensive.
Yeah, that's it's good when games have that like dual maneuverability and attack thing. There's the Risk of Rain 2 has that with a guy called the Mercenary. All of his attacks are also maneuverable things, so it's
cool.
very nice. That
That's
game
really cool.
also. Oh man, that's a really good game. Also, an amazing soundtrack by this guy with a name I can't pronounce at all. Risk of Rain 2. Christodulu. Doulou. I don't know. It's crazy. This guy does really good stuff. Lots of guitar, lots of guitar. I don't know how to describe Risk of Rain music. It's kind of unique in itself. It's good stuff. I really like video game music. There's another one that's a shame. A game I really like got rid of their soundtrack and replaced it, and I don't know why they did that. So now I have to go on YouTube to listen to it.
My favorite soundtrack, at least nostalgia-wise, was the first Naruto game that they came out with. It was called Clash of Ninja on the GameCube.
Okay, I've never played it. Never played any Naruto game. I
Really?
mean, I'm familiar with
Really
Naruto,
fun.
but
The
yeah.
Xbox one, the Xbox and PlayStation ones are fun. The Nintendo versions are more side-scrollery, with the ability to kind of like maneuver in and out of the fourth wall. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you can like scoot, kind of like Street Fighter. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
You can scoot out of the way and dodge, but that's about it. You're still on a set stage and you can't move from that set stage. Whereas the Xbox and PlayStation versions are very Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi format.
Yeah.
Like you're faced behind it's one screen actually. It's interesting. It's one screen, and I think when it's two-player it's split screen, but you're behind the camera is behind your character.
Oh no, I know about
And-
those ones. I don't care for those ones very much. Because
No?
I experienced that with Dragon Ball. I did not like it.
Well,
I'm
it's still
a
fun
side
as one player.
screen fighter purist myself.
Okay, so you only like side screen. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I like the behind because it makes me feel like I am the person rather than I'm playing as a character.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't know. I think it's just my comfortability with it. I really like. I feel like it adds an extra layer that I don't need. Sort of like in the opposite way of how I feel of Minecraft to Terraria. Terraria removes an angle that I prefer. You know, like I do not
Gotcha.
like. It's the same thing, but because it's 2D, I really don't like it nearly as much.
Gotcha. Well, then you probably like the Nintendo versions,
Probably.
which are pretty cool actually. The ones for the Wii that came out with you could do jutsu, like with the Wii controllers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. You were like in the middle of a match and just do a square real quick, and your character does like 3 hand signs, and then you'd have a health boost real quick or an attack boost.
That's cool. I really liked. I had the Bleach fighting game for the DS. Blade of Fate. But I love Bleach. Bleach is like one of my favorite shows.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, good anime. Very good anime.
that's a very good anime.
And the music to that too. Oh man, I jam that. I love
See,
that stuff.
the music that I really vibed with was always Naruto's, just because.
Yes, Naruto's got good
Saki-
sound design. Absolutely, I like the music
Yeah.
in Naruto.
I like the music, and I think it was just because Masashi Kishimoto has such like a similar music taste to me that or at least at the time, you know what I mean, when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
that all the songs he picked were like, oh, this is a banger, and then like the next year he would come out with the next season, and I was like another year older, my music taste changed, and then the next song he picked is like the same one that I'm listening to, you know, like damn,
Yeah.
another banger.
Yeah. You know what was really good? Have you ever watched Soul Eater?
Yeah, I love
Dude,
Soul Eater.
the music in Soul Eater, the horns are so good. Oh man, that like when they do those real weird like discordant horns in the background of like their kind of like tense scenes and stuff, it's just
Yeah.
it hits so. I love Soul Eater too. Probably one of my favorite animes. Like Soul Eater is so freaking good. I'm working on getting the big hardcover books of the mangas. Because I actually haven't read it. Taku Iwasaki?
That's the guy that
Yeah,
produced
that's
it.
who does the music for that one. That stuff's really good.
Really like him.
But yeah, because the show changed how it ended, and it did not even finish what the manga continues on doing. So
Really?
yeah, yeah, there's so much, bro. They hadn't even gotten to Homeboy at the end yet. Like they shifted a lot. It's kind of like how there's Full Metal Alchemist, and then there's like Brotherhood, which is actually Full Metal Alchemist.
Gotcha.
Similar to that. But yeah, Soul Eater is also, banging music. There's a couple of animes that have really good stuff. You ever watch Darker Than Black?
I was gonna say that's what they
good.
did with Aragon. I didn't like that. Because
Aragon?
Aragon's my favorite book series.
Dude, I love Aragon. That's a great series. The movie was garbage.
Have you read Murtaugh?
I didn't read the last one.
I just finished. Oh, it's a new one.
Oh, new one?
So,
No, I
yeah,
haven't. No,
I
I
haven't read it, but I want to.
I have to go back and read them all. Honestly, it's been years.
Yeah.
I read the first two a lot. I read the first one a bunch. Cause I just
okay. So you remember Murtaugh?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so they made like a spin-off series of after everything is done, Galbatorix is gone, settled. Now here's Murtaugh's story on his own.
Okay. Yeah, no,
The
I
after.
didn't.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I'll have to.
See, it's
Yeah,
really
I gotta
good
go
to
back
read
and read
that.
them. I need to read in general. I haven't been doing reading a lot, and really, I just want to reread things that I already read. I've got a couple of new books, but like I've been wanting to dig back into reading the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. Probably one of my favorite series of all time. I've read it like twice already, but it's so good. It's so whack. It's like the best form of absurdist sci-fi you could ever get. It is like the perfect form of it, and it's British, which I think is why it's so good. And it's because the British are really good at absurd things. That's just kind of how the British are. I don't know what it is. They're just real good at it. And Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a very good example of that. Also, one of the very few where the movie was actually good. It was good for the book. Like, it was actually good. Like, sometimes it's really rough. Like, I refuse to watch oh, I love it so much. What is it? Artemis Fowl? Ain't no way. I'm not gonna look at that. I'm not gonna touch it.
I watched episode 1 and I was like, this isn't nothing like what I imagined it being.
They said Butler's name already. You can't. That it took the whole series for Butler to say his name to Artemis. The whole series, because that's like a huge thing, and they're just like, yeah, it's this guy Dom. No. You fucked up already. You already fucked up. You're done. I can't with people who want to just like turn things into movies because so many of them just don't fucking touch the source material. Just like it's so easy. Lord of the Rings did it. They did it pretty well.
Promise too, because they had a perfect casting for everybody, right?
For what?
Like, Aragon.
Oh,
I don't know if you ever saw the movie, but
I
the guy that they got to play
I watched
Aragon,
it in theater,
was
and
exactly who you envisioned in the books, you know.
I don't know. I remember watching in the theater and just not liking it.
But then the plot was where they lost it.
I guess that's where it is. I maybe I need to go back and just like take a look at it. Take a couple looks at some clips and remember.
The casting wasn't bad, but then like Queen Nasuwada was supposed to have a huge role in the first book, and she never spoke a single word, hardly. Her dad did, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then even then he barely spoke, and he played a huge part in the first book too. You know, there was supposed to be more backstory with Brahm before he just died. But they didn't put that in there.
Yeah, it's See, people need to stop. Stop it. You read the source material and really absorb it.
To make it correctly, it needs to be a series, realistically.
Yeah, it's too long to be a movie.
Yeah,
because it's also like what you get there is only building up to what's going to come.
Exactly.
Because like we're not getting another movie, so wow, we just got an unfinished chunk of a story. That's it.
And then they like fast forwarded to the end, where, what was it? I forget how did they end it? Oh yeah, they were just immediately gonna go straight to Galbatorix and kill him.
Yeah.
After the first one, and that was how it ended. And Galbatorix like tore the shade on.
They ended it the exact same way the first Hobbit movie
and
did.
the dragon was there, and he was like, "All right, I'm ready."
Yeah, exactly, Ganja. That is how it feels. You know what was really good that touched source material that turned it into a miniseries was the JFK miniseries from Stephen King with James Franco, actually, of all people. It was really good.
I actually have a funny story about that. Uh, okay, so little backstory. I had to go to a mental hospital at one point when I was a kid,
Hmm.
and there was this guy that I had met there that was an author, and he told me that he had written a story that had been ripped off by Stephen King. And I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
no way, which one? It was that one, the one about going back in time and stopping JFK from being assassinated and all the disaster, the fallout that would come out from that. Um, he wrote that story, and he actually took it to Stephen King and showed him and was like, look at this. Like, what do you think? Do you think I have something here? And Stephen, like, glanced through it and was like, yeah, this is cool. And then gave it back to him. Next thing you know, like, word for word, name for name, just drops. And because Stephen King has, like, all the money and the best lawyers in the world, he won the lawsuit.
Hmm. Hmm.
Crazy, right?
I don't disbelieve that just because I know he's a piece of shit on Twitter. So
Yeah.
I literally wouldn't even
Well,
I wouldn't
I
even
don't
be
disbelieve
surprised
it
if that
either
was true.
because I remember when he started running out of ideas.
I mean, he also is known, these types of guys are known for banging out story after story after story.
Yeah, and eventually the creativity runs dry. You know what I mean? It does for everybody. You know what I mean? You can't be a musician forever. Eventually, all your ideas are going to start to kind of just sound the same.
Yeah, well, plus, I mean, I'd say it steps out from some of the stuff that he does because most of what he does is like horror, and that is not a horror story, like at all. It is very much, I dare say, close to like a sci-fi, like, I don't know what genre you put in, but not horror, not thriller, maybe thriller, but not like his other stuff like It and Caroline, like
Carrie.
the killer car, and Carrie. Yeah, like he always kind of has a supernatural aspect to it, or some kind of sort of sci-fi-ish.
Green Mile.
But it's always like
Killer car.
spooky. Even the Dome, which I also read, great fucking book by the way. If he stole that, I don't know, maybe not. But the Dome was a great fucking book. That wasn't. That wasn't really. It's still kind of horror though, because it's like people trying to fucking survive. I guess he doesn't do just horror though, because he also did
He also did The Gunslinger, and that wasn't really horror.
yeah, so I guess not.
And I did like how the Gunslinger kind of tied in every other book that he had ever written, to a degree. Not every single one, but
I haven't
most
read
of the
that
big
one.
ones.
What
It's like,
is
oh yeah, all the weird shit that happens, it's all in the same universe.
what's the one he did that also got turned into a mini series that started with like a bunch of people dying, and then it was a small group of people being led by God and a small group of people being led by the devil to fight it out in the last
Was
like
it The Mist?
huh? No, not the
Mist?
Mist. No, I don't think so. Maybe. It basically, like, at first it looked like it was gonna be like an apocalypse movie, but then it turned into like a religious duel between groups of people. It was pretty good.
Interesting.
It was definitely made in like the early 2000s as far as the miniseries was. It was really good. I liked it a lot. It was like 9 fucking hours.
Yeah, well, he told me that story because I had asked him if I could read what he was working on. He's like, I'm working on a new story. It's about like space travel and all that stuff. And I was like, cool, cool. Could I like read what you have? Like, I've got nothing but time in here. And so that was when he told me like I would, but then here's the problem: is I've had my work stolen before, and then he told me that whole story.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And then I remember seeing it on Hulu, the series, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like this guy's pretty much his whole mid to late 20s life's work got stolen and is now like making Stephen King millions.
Many such cases, unfortunately.
Yep. Unfortunately.
Well,
But anyways,
he wrote a good
this has been
story.
fun.
Yeah, you gotta head
What was
out. I said, well, he wrote a good story.
Yeah,
Him.
yeah, he did write a good story.
So you gotta head out?
Yeah, I gotta head out.
All right. Well, it's been good talking to you, man.
Yeah, you too, man. Later.
Yep. See ya. All right, guys. This has been it. As a little bit less music, but that was him. We'll probably have him on again when he gets his album pulled out. I will be back on Sunday for digging through the albums. And I don't know. If I end up finding another guest here and there in between, then it'll show up for one of these episodes. I'm going to head out because I've got somebody waiting to play some video games with me. So farewell.